Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to the AEW Dynamite review. Dynamite tonight was from the UW Panther Arena in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and this was the go-home show for All Out, which is this Saturday. And Dynamite tonight, I thought it was a decent show in my opinion, but as a go-home show, it did nothing to hype us up for All Out this Saturday. To me, the build towards All Out has been very mediocre, in my opinion. It doesn't even feel like All Out is this Saturday. Like you would think, oh, there's an AEW pay-per-view on Saturday. You know, it's like that. But you wouldn't even think that there was a pay-per-view this Saturday, because we just had All In almost 2 weeks ago. And they've been building towards All Out, which is just very mediocre, the build towards it. But tonight on Dynamite, we had the AEW Continental Championship on the line, where Kazuchika Okada ended up defending the title against Kyle Fletcher. Jamie Hayter was in action, and she had taken on Robyn Renegade, which was just pretty much basically a momentum match for Jamie Hayter. We had the AEW Women's World Championship on the line, where Glamour Mariah May, defend the title against Nyla Rose. And the main event, we had Pac, Wheeler Yuta, and Claudio Castagnoli versus Orange Cassidy, Kyle O'Reilly, and Will Ospreay. And we also had the contract signing between Swerve Strickland and Hangman and Page, which, obviously, went nowhere, because Hangman and Page showed up at Swerve's childhood home, to which Swerve ended up using the money because he signed a contract extension with AEW. He used that money to buy his childhood home. So that comes into play of what we see, later on, with how Hangman Page was there, which I will get to explaining. But overall, Dynamite tonight, it was a decent show, in my opinion. But like I said, as a go-home show, it did nothing to hype us up for All Out. But before I get into the review, if you guys haven't checked out my previous videos, I uploaded 2 videos today. I did my unboxing video, to which my buddy Luke Ponto ended up sending me 2 movies, which I thank Luke for. So check out my unboxing video if you guys haven't seen it. And also, I uploaded a new intro, which is going to be for my movie reviews. So check out that as well. My intro for my movie reviews is going to be used. It's going to debut for Beetlejuice, which I'm seeing on Friday. So that's going to be, the debut for my new movie review intro. And it's going to be used for all of my upcoming movie reviews. And special thanks to Kalum Praya, I think that's how you pronounce his name, on Pfeiffer for designing that intro for me. So special thanks to him. Got to give him a shout out. So, but check out those 2 videos that I uploaded earlier today. But anyway, let's jump right into the review. Dynamite opened up tonight with Daniel Garcia. Daniel Garcia, he ended up making a beeline to the ring. He got into the ring and he grabbed the mic. He ended up recounting the old saying that patience is a virtue. Daniel Garcia ended up saying that he's not feeling very virtuous. And he wants to see MJF right now so he can break his neck. So Daniel Garcia was calling out MJF. So MJF was shown in the crowd. He was surrounded by security, and he ended up addressing Daniel Garcia by saying he's up here because he doesn't want to ruin their big match by whooping Danny Garcia tonight. MJF ended up saying that he wants to wait until All Out this Saturday so he can break Danny Garcia's pencil neck. Yeah, he ended up calling Danny Garcia a pencil neck. So MJF ended up running down Danny Garcia, and Danny Garcia ended up cutting MJF off. He ended up calling everything about MJF fake. So Danny Garcia ended up saying that the thing that makes him the most sick is the fakest thing about MJF, and that is his fake love for AEW. So Danny Garcia ended up saying that MJF doesn't love these people like he does, and no amount of fake tattoos will prove otherwise. So MJF then tried to interrupt Danny Garcia with a warning, but Danny Garcia cut MJF off. He kept saying that if he meets a girl that will pretend to love him for longer than a year, to marry her and have a kid. He kept saying, but picking up that kid will remind him of Danny Garcia. So Danny Garcia ended up saying, when that kid asks MJF if he was a wrestler, he kept saying that MJF will have to say the truest statement he's ever made. And he kept saying, I was, until Danny Garcia broke my neck. So MJF then ended up mocking Danny Garcia for his remarks. He kept saying that he was trying to do Danny Garcia a favor when he attacked him during his match against Will Ospreay. MJF then talked about how these people used to love him, which prompted some chants and cheers from the crowd there in Milwaukee. But MJF ended up telling the crowd, oh, it's too little, too late. He ended up saying that he got too big, and like rats, these people left him. So MJF ended up saying that Danny Garcia doesn't want these fans' affections, because the more he succeeds, the more they will want him to fall. So MJF ended up saying that he's going to do Danny Garcia a favor. He ended up saying that these folks will leave him, but he's going to help make sure they don't hurt him like they hurt him. So MJF ended up saying that he will help Danny Garcia by putting him in a wheelchair. So then he brought up about Danny Garcia's mother, on how she will be able to help him out as well. So Danny Garcia had enough of what MJF was saying. Danny Garcia jumped over the barricade and he charged through the crowd. Danny Garcia then started fighting off some security, as he wanted to go after MJF. Danny Garcia ended up managing to get to where MJF was, but MJF ended up cracking a bottle over Danny Garcia's head, which sent Danny Garcia down to the floor. MJF then ended up grabbing the mic. He was sitting next to Danny Garcia as Danny Garcia was busted open from that bottle from MJF. So MJF ended up thanking Danny Garcia for waking up something in him that has been dormant for far too long. MJF ended up quoting an old saying that a man must go through hell to reach paradise. MJF ended up saying that he will send Danny Garcia straight to paradise. And for that, you can thank him later. MJF then kissed Danny Garcia's head, as Danny Garcia, of course, was bleeding. MJF had Danny Garcia's blood on his lip, and he just left Danny Garcia, just there, busted open. And, of course, he was passed out, Danny Garcia. But overall, this was a good segment here. This was an interesting opening segment here. And, of course, MJF saying, you've awoken something in me. This isn't the first time that we heard MJF saying this. But Danny Garcia versus MJF at All Out should be a good match. Looking forward to it. But overall, good opening segment to Dynamite tonight. And then we saw Renee Paquette. Renee Paquette was backstage, and she was interviewing the conglomeration, and also Will Ospreay. Ospreay ended up thanking the conglomeration for letting him team with them tonight. And it led to Mark Briscoe recounting the conversation that was had leading into the agreement. He ended up saying that tonight's word is stupendous, something that describes the trio to a T. So pretty much that was basically that. But Mark Briscoe, you can tell he always has a fun time, doing these promos. So gotta enjoy Mark Briscoe. And then we had the first match of the night. We had Kazuchika Okada versus Kyle Fletcher. This was for the AEW Continental Championship. So we had the Rainmaker end up making his way out first. And then Kyle Fletcher then headed to the ring. Of course, he was accompanied by Don Callis. Don Callis was on commentary during the match. And this was a very good match here between these two. Very entertaining. So we had the match end up starting off with Okada and Fletcher. They were exchanging holds. And both guys ended up taking it to the ropes. And we had Okada end up getting sent to the outside by Fletcher. Fletcher ended up hitting the ropes. He delivered a dive onto Okada that sent him to the floor. So then Dynamite went to commercial. Of course, we had the picture-in-picture. So during the picture-in-picture, Kyle Fletcher maintained control of the match. He kept Okada down. He brought Okada back into the ring, but Okada started to fight back, sending Fletcher into the corner. So then, as Dynamite came back from the commercial, Fletcher ended up taking it to the ropes, and we had Fletcher end up taking Okada down with a clothesline. So Okada ended up heading to the corner. He was cut off with some punches by Fletcher. Fletcher ended up dropping Okada down to the canvas. Fletcher ended up going for the cover, to which Okada kicked out. Fletcher brought Okada back to his feet. Okada then fought Fletcher off, and he ended up dropping Fletcher's neck onto his knee. Okada ended up taking it to the top turnbuckle to deliver an elbow drop to Fletcher, to which he ended up doing. So Okada ended up bringing Fletcher up to his feet for a lariat, but Fletcher ended up evading that, and he ended up dropping Okada down, and he ended up going for the cover, to which Okada ended up kicking out too. Okada then rolled to the outside as Fletcher slowly got to his feet, and he ended up leaving the ring to focus on Okada. So this turned out to be a trick because Okada ended up fighting Fletcher off, sending Fletcher to the apron. So Okada was looking to go for a tombstone pile driver on Fletcher, but Fletcher ended up fighting out of that. Fletcher ended up driving Okada onto the ring apron with a brain buster, which that was crazy, on the hardest part of the ring. So both Okada and Fletcher were down on the outside. So the ref started to count, and then Dynamite went to commercial. Then as Dynamite came back from the commercial, we had Fletcher end up managing to fight out of Okada's grip, which connected with a pair of thrust kicks, which sent Okada to the corner. Fletcher ended up fighting Okada up on the top turnbuckle, and we had Justin Roberts ended up announcing that at this point in the match, there is 5 minutes remaining. So Okada ended up sending Fletcher to the outside with a drop kick. Fletcher ended up using the barricade to get back to his feet, but Okada ended up delivering a running kick to Fletcher. Fletcher was sent over the barricade into the crowd. We had Fletcher end up hitting Okada with a vertical suplex onto the barricade. Okada slowly got back to his feet. So Fletcher ended up delivering a running leap over the barricade to send Okada down. Fletcher then ended up bringing Okada back into the ring. Okada then got on the ropes, and he was dropped by Fletcher. Fletcher ended up getting cut off with a lariat delivered by Okada, and Okada ended up bringing Fletcher back up for the Rainmaker. Fletcher fought out of that, but Fletcher was cut off with a drop kick by Okada. Fletcher ended up managing to fight back to drop Okada down to the canvas, so Fletcher ended up going for the cover, and Okada ended up kicking out. So at this point, Justin Roberts announced 1 minute remaining of the match. So Fletcher ended up hitting Okada with a scoop slam, but Okada ended up using the ref to intercept him, and he then nailed Fletcher with a low blow, and the ref didn't even see that. So low blow from Okada to Fletcher, and then Okada delivered the Rainmaker onto Fletcher. Okada went for the cover, and there you go. Kazuchika Okada ended up winning the match, retaining the AEW Continental Championship. So post-match, Okada was celebrating because he won the match, and he was forced to the outside by Konosuke Takeshita. Konosuke Takeshita came out, and of course on Collision on Friday, Takeshita is part of the Continental Championship Challenge, so he's taking on the Beast Mortos on Collision this Friday. So Takeshita was looking at a challenge for the Continental Championship at All Out. So who knows who will win that match, Takeshita or Mortos, this Friday on Collision. But of course, I think Takeshita is going to win it. But overall, very good match from Okada and Kyle Fletcher. Very enjoyable match. And then, of course, we had a vignette promo from Swerve Strickland. He was with Prince Nana. And Swerve ended up signing a contract extension with AEW. So we saw footage of him signing the contract, and he ended up using the money from that contract to buy his childhood home, to which, he lived in as a kid. And we saw, old photos that he showed of, him as a kid and, his family. So the whole childhood home that Swerve ended up buying, plays out in the main event segment with Hangman and Page, which I'll get to. And then we had Jamie Hayter versus Robyn Renegade. This was pretty much a momentum match for Jamie Hayter. Jamie Hayter ended up winning the match. Nothing for me to go over in this match. So Saraya and Harley Cameron were watching from backstage, and Jamie Hayter got the win. She ended up hitting the Haterade on Robyn Renegade. So pretty much that was that. So just like I said, a momentum match for Jamie Hayter. I mean, she just returned. She's got to get her momentum back. So this is all that was done for Jamie Hayter here. And then we saw Roderick Strong. Roderick Strong confronted Christopher Daniels about his foot being under the rope last week in his match with Hook. So they showed footage of that. So Hook ended up showing up to offer a shot at Roderick Strong for the FTW Championship tonight in Milwaukee. So Roderick Strong was like, Hook, I don't want to wrestle in this dumpy town. So Roderick Strong ended up telling Hook that he will take Hook up on the offer in due time. So there you go. Roderick Strong didn't want to have the match tonight, so he's got to take Hook up on his own time. And then we saw Marina Snorefear. She had fighting off security as her and Jon Moxley made their way through backstage. Apparently last week, Moxley ended up stating, "Oh, this company is going to change." And then we saw Marina Shafir end up beating down, people last week. I'm like, is this setting up for Shane McMahon's arrival in AEW? Maybe maybe Shane McMahon offered Jon Moxley and Marina Shafir, to, do all this, maybe. So Jon Moxley ended up fighting himself face to face with the Elite. And Moxley ended up calling Jack Perry a sweet kid. So pretty much that was that. And then, as Dynamite came back from the commercial, we had Jon Moxley and Marina Snorefear make their way through the crowd. So Moxley got on the mic. The crowd started chanting Moxley's name. Moxley ended up saying that he wonders if Darby Allin is out here somewhere tonight. He ended up saying that he doesn't think so. He ended up saying that a while back, he faced someone he didn't know anything about. A kid who smiled after getting beat up. He ended up saying that he knew that kid was special. And he still feels that way. So Moxley ended up saying that he gives Darby Allin his proverbial flowers, saying that one is not entitled to such things. Mox ended up saying that the clock is ticking, and that he just wants to talk to Darby. So he then dropped the mic. Moxley and Marina Shafir end up leaving through the crowd, and they made their way out. And pretty much that was basically that. Short promo from Jon Moxley. But I'm really interested in seeing where this goes. Like I said, is this to bring Shane McMahon in? So maybe Shane McMahon, possibly made a deal with Moxley and Marina Shafir, and maybe Shane McMahon is going to manage Moxley and Marina Shafir, or maybe we're going to get a group, and that's going to lead to Shane McMahon entering AEW. Maybe, who knows? And then we had the learning tree. God, for 1 week, can we get the learning tree off of TV for just 1 week? 1 week. It's like every single week they're on TV. I mean, we're so sick and tired of hearing Jericho say, "Hi, guys." So Jericho, "Hi, guys." He ended up saying that he wants to remind everyone of what Orange Cassidy did to him 4 years ago. Remember 4 years ago on Dynamite, during the pandemic, where we had the orange juice come down on Jericho, destroying his jacket. So Jericho ended up saying that he still wants his $7,000 for that jacket. Really? Jericho is still upset about something that happened 4 years ago? So he promises that Brian Keith will freshly squeeze the money out of Orange Cassidy Friday on Collision. So this was followed up by, Big Bill saying that they will make Orange Cassidy make good on his debts, which led to Orange Cassidy stepping in. So Orange Cassidy ended up telling Brian Keith to tell Chris Jericho, to which Orange Cassidy didn't even know that Jericho was standing there. He was standing right beside Orange Cassidy. So Orange Cassidy ended up telling Brian Keith to tell Jericho that if Brian Keith wins on Friday, he will pay Jericho the $7,000 that he wants so badly. So Orange Cassidy walked off, and it led to the learning tree being visibly confused. Because Jericho's like, I'm here. So yeah, that was basically that. But who cares? Who the hell cares? Then we have Mariah May versus Nyla Rose for the AEW Women's World Championship. Mariah May defended the title. This was an okay match here. So we have Mariah May end up making her way out first. And then Nyla Rose ended up coming out. Match got underway. Mariah May ended up calling Nyla Rose to the middle of the ring. And she delivered a slap to Nyla Rose. Nyla Rose seemed unfazed about that slap. So Nyla Rose ended up sending Mariah May into the corner, and Nyla Rose started laying into Mariah May. So Mariah May ended up trying to mock Nyla Rose with another slap, but this angered Nyla Rose. She ended up dropping Mariah May back down to the canvas for a leg drop. So Nyla Rose ended up going for the cover. Mariah May ended up kicking out. Nyla Rose brought Mariah May back to her feet. She was looking to go for a suplex attempt, but Mariah May ended up carrying out of that to hang Nyla Rose up on the ropes. So we have Mariah May end up sending Nyla Rose into the corner for some stomps. So then Dynamite went to commercial. Then when Dynamite came back from the commercial, Mariah May was shown sending Nyla Rose back to the canvas. So she ended up going for the cover, and Nyla Rose ended up kicking out. Nyla Rose ended up connecting with a headbutt to Mariah May, which forced both Mariah May and Nyla Rose down to the canvas. So Mariah May ended up sending Nyla Rose into the ropes with a strike, but Nyla Rose ended up fighting right back at Mariah May. She ended up sending Mariah May into the corner. So Nyla Rose ended up delivering a corner splash to Mariah May, which was followed up by a spear. And Nyla Rose ended up going for the cover, to which Mariah May ended up kicking out. So at the end of the match, Nyla Rose ended up getting dropped with the Storm Zero by Mariah May. So Mariah May ended up going for the cover. And they go. Mariah May ended up winning the match, retaining the AEW Women's World Championship. Overall, this was an okay match. Nothing great, nothing perfect here. Obviously, Mariah May was going to retain, but I'm curious to see where Mariah May goes after All Out. And then we had Deonna Purrazzo. Deonna Purrazzo ended up cutting a promo. She ended up saying that she promises she has only just begun making art. And she ended up saying that she is about to bounce back from her setbacks. So that was what Deonna Purrazzo had to say. The virtuosa. And then as Dynamite came back from the commercial, we had the TBS champion and the New Japan Strong Women's champion, Mercedes Moné. Mercedes made her way out. She was accompanied by Camille. And we saw footage of Mercedes defending her New Japan Strong Women's Championship at Capital Collision, New Japan's show last week. So we saw a little footage of that. So Mercedes and Camille were in the ring. Mercedes got on the mic. She ended up telling Milwaukee to say hello to their CEO. Mercedes then talked about her recent title defense, defending the Strong Women's Championship at Capital Collision last weekend. So then she ended up addressing Hikaru Shida, to which Mercedes is going to face Hikaru Shida at All Out for the TBS Championship. Mercedes ended up saying that she is the face of this company, and she promises there will be a price to pay when Hikaru Shida faces her. So then we saw Hikaru Shida on the screen. Hikaru Shida was shown all suited up and she called out Mercedes. Hikaru Shida ended up saying that she would have beaten Mercedes if Camille hadn't gotten involved. Hikaru Shida then ripped off her suit and she revealed her new t-shirt, which looked, pretty good. Hikaru Shida ended up saying that Mercedes will not be able to beat the Ace. So then Christopher Daniels ended up stepping in. Christopher Daniels, AEW's Adam Pearce, because he is playing the Adam Pearce role. When we see Adam Pearce on Monday Night Raw. So Christopher Daniels ended up revealing that at All Out, Camille will be banned from ringside. So it'll just be Hikaru Shida versus Mercedes Moné one-on-one for the TBS Championship. So pretty much that was basically that. But overall, just a very meh segment here. Obviously, this was just Mercedes coming out there saying, oh, I defended my Strong Women's Championship at Capital Collision. I, retained it. And, I'm just going to address Hikaru Shida ahead of All Out. Pretty much basically, Mercedes saying, oh, I am the face of this company. So uninteresting. And then we saw the Elite backstage. Jack Perry ended up addressing his opportunity to face Bryan Danielson for the World Championship at All Out. Jack Perry then addressed the hardships that he's gone through the past couple of years. He then mocked Bryan's fairy tale ending. He had promising that Bryan won't have a happy ending at All Out. So Matthew Jackson ended up telling Bryan they will look to bring the World Championship back to the Elite this Saturday. So that was pretty much basically that. Main event. Pac, Wheeler Yuta, and Claudio Castagnoli. They ended up taking on Orange Cassidy, Kyle O'Reilly, and Will Ospreay. And this was a fun match. We had Bryan Danielson on commentary for this match. So Orange Cassidy and Kyle O'Reilly ended up making their way out to the ring first. And then came Will Ospreay. So Ospreay ended up entering the ring. And Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta ended up making their way out. And this was followed up by Pac coming in there. So the match ended up getting underway. So Kyle O'Reilly and Wheeler Yuta end up started off. They circled the canvas and they ended up locking up. Both Kyle O'Reilly and Wheeler Yuta were exchanging holds. Yuta then ended up taking Kyle O'Reilly down. So Yuta ended up fighting out of a wrist lock from Kyle O'Reilly. And he ended up putting a hammerlock on Kyle O'Reilly. O'Reilly ended up fighting out of that. He was looking to go for a cross arm breaker on Yuta. Yuta then ended up getting O'Reilly on his shoulder for a near fall. So Orange Cassidy ended up tagging in. So we had Orange Cassidy and Yuta going at it. So Orange Cassidy ended up threatening to put his hands in his pockets, but Yuta ended up taking Cassidy down, and he ended up taking in Pac. Pac ended up sending Orange Cassidy into the corner. He ended up saying that he wants Will Ospreay. So Will Ospreay ended up coming in. So Orange Cassidy tagged in Ospreay. We had a stare down between Pac and Ospreay. Of course, they're facing off at All Out. So both guys end up going at it. Ospreay ended up using the ropes to gain the upper hand on Pac. So we had Ospreay end up hitting a drop kick to force Pac into the corner. And then Dynamite went to commercial. So later on in the match, we had Claudio end up countering a Stun Dog Millionaire. He was caught with a kick by Kyle O'Reilly, which led to Orange Cassidy delivering a beach break to Claudio. So Orange Cassidy ended up going for the cover, and Claudio ended up kicking out. So we had later on, Claudio ended up doing the spin, which was cool. So he ended up doing the spin to Kyle O'Reilly. Wheeler Yuta ended up sliding in for the drop kick. Claudio ended up going for the cover. And there you go. Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, and Pac ended up winning the match. Post-match, Bryan ended up leaving commentary to congratulate Pac, Claudio, and Wheeler Yuta. But the three of them were then blindsided by the Elite. So the Elite started beating them down. Jack Perry then grabbed a steel chair, and he was looking to lay out Bryan with the steel chair, but Claudio ended up tripping Jack Perry up. Yuta ended up sliding back in to help even the odds, and they forced the Elite out of the ring. Claudio then grabbed the mic. He ended up telling the Elite that they made the biggest mistake of their lives. Claudio ended up saying that he's on a mission to collect gold, and since he has nothing going on at All Out, he ended up saying, how about him and Wheeler Yuta face the Young Bucks for the World Tag Team Championship? So the crowd cheered for that. Bryan then grabbed the mic to proclaim that he will kick Jack Perry's head in this Saturday night at All Out. So pretty much that was basically that. Overall, this was a good main event match here. Very fun. And then we had the last segment. Tony Schiavone was in the ring for the contract signing between Swerve Strickland and Hangman Page. So Swerve Strickland ended up making his way out, accompanied by Prince Nana. So Tony Schiavone ended up thanking Swerve for agreeing to no physicality during this contract signing. So then Tony Schiavone ended up introducing Hangman Page. Page's music ended up hitting, and Page didn't even come out. Tony Schiavone tried to do Page's intro again, but we saw Hangman Page on the screen. Page was seen at Swerve's childhood home that he just bought. So Page ended up telling Swerve that he wasn't about to sign off on something they both knew was happening. So Page ended up saying that Swerve messed up by showing the world something that he loves so much, his childhood home. Page was then shown messing with the windows in Swerve's, childhood home. He ended up running down Swerve's childhood. He ended up insinuating that things would have been better off if Swerve had never been born. So Page ended up bringing up the comments that Swerve made last week about making a choice between vengeance and peace. Page ended up saying that it's not much of a choice at all, because to him, it's all the same. So then we heard some splashing going around in the home. And apparently Page had a gas can. So Page ended up saying that for months, he has wanted nothing more than to burn Swerve's world down. So Page then took a seat on a recliner outside the home of Swerve's childhood home. Page ended up saying that he was happy to help Swerve's championship dream slip from his fingers. He ended up saying that if he hasn't already, he should kiss his dreams of being champion again goodbye. Page ended up saying that Swerve will have to kiss a lot of things goodbye, and tonight he's going to help him get started, as he says goodbye to Swerve's house. So then Page ended up, lighting a spark, and he ended up dropping that beside him, and led to Swerve's childhood home being engulfed in flames. He lit Swerve's childhood home on fire. So Swerve was absolutely beside himself, and he was forced to simply watch his childhood home be on fire and engulfed in flames. Paige was still sitting in the chair, and that was basically how Dynamite went off the air. But overall, this was a very good ending segment to close Dynamite. And, pretty much you could say that this was payback for Swerve because of when Swerve ended up coming into Hangman's house that one time. But I thought it was a good closing segment to Dynamite tonight. But overall, Dynamite tonight, I thought it was a decent show, in my opinion. But anyway, that's it for tonight's Dynamite review. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this review. Definitely give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and until next video, I'll see you all later.